Because if people can ask questions.
And giving a little trick a little bit.
Above ground and taking nourishment. Say any more than that, you're begging.
Hey, Mark.
Just so everyone's aware, Chambers is unmuted. Are you waiting on Anna Daly? There we go.
Hey, John, John, as long as you want. Yeah, no, we have to get through all of this.
Yeah. He went,
Speak for himself. Hurry up.
in Ferguson district, what it is now. Over to where he's at.
Good if start
He
here.
said there's no way in hell he's gonna win.
Oh, I never.
I've never
Yeah.
seen.
I think, I didn't feel like, are you?
Stand on the side of the table.
Well, they gave, what's
Was either said.
You've said here before.
Have I?
As I said.
I talked to him.
It's one.
Lonely yesterday.
Well, you can switch if you need to.
Yeah.
All right. Here they are.
Oh, those $1 million. Yeah, you're gonna fall the dirt. Oh, yeah.
I get nervous when you two guys start talking about it.
Can you sit over there then?
Yeah,
Okay.
just got it right there.
We have to wait for someone to get us go live or.
No, we're all set, Elaine.
I have
All
not.
right, great. We're live. Okay, I'd like to call the Ways and Means Committee to order. They go around and go through who's here. Go ahead, Stephanie DeVito, Jonathan Anna, Heidi Nightingale, Brian Muldrow, and myself. Could I get a motion to approve the minutes of February 20th?
Move.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I was just telling the department heads that I'll probably just introduce the 4 Ways and Means resolutions, get a motion in a second. And then if there's any questions, the specific department can answer them. Ways and Means 1 is to allow a contract with Vinesky and Company to complete a countywide cost allocation plan. This is a plan that's used to make sure that we're claiming appropriate state and federal aid. And it's mostly involving the Department of Social Services, Mental Health, and Health Department. We've had a longstanding arrangement with Vinesky, and it looks like the contract will be $12,500 all the way through 2026. So could I get a motion for that?
I'll make a motion. Second, Nightingale.
Okay, are there questions about, I think this is a standard resolution we do. Okay, all in favor? Okay, Ways and Means 2 is authorizing the Human Resource Administrator to create and fill an HR assistant position. Last month, I know Diane had come up and said that she had a resignation and she was going to be looking at making some changes in the department. And what this resolution does will allow her to create and fill an HR assistant position at grade 12. And then she's planning to unfund the grade 14 HR associate to accomplish this. So this actually would be a reduction in grade and a reduction in salary, but my understanding is she feels this is the right move for the department. So can we get a motion for HH or WM2?
Nightingale, move it.
Second.
Okay, any questions? I know Diane's here if you have any.
Well, I see that's unfunded. Is that? We're unfunding the position. Is that correct?
Yes. And again, you can, I mean, basically, a lot of people would like something unfunded or abolished, but if you ever wanted to reorganize again, you'd have to go through the whole process of classifying the job again.
Right, so I'd like to keep it, I'd like to take the money and move it to a lower level position because of the duties that we need to have done currently in the office, but leave it available as an option in a few years, maybe to promote this person up. So
Okay,
is the idea.
thank you, Diane.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
All right.
Okay. WM three is to allocate insurance costs to the department that receive reimbursement, so, based on the resolution, this is going to, allocate costs to the various departments that get state and federal funding. Now that we have the actual amounts for the insurance costs, this resolution allows that to be transferred into those budgets and then be eligible for that state and federal reimbursement.
Make a motion.
Second?
Diane Gibson.
Okay, I think that's standard too. Every year we take this action. All right, all in favor? Okay, then WM four, based on the resolution, and I know Lynn has talked about this, the county did submit a shared services plan for 2020. And they included savings for the Medicare Advantage premium for the college in the amount of $191,489. The county went ahead and got the shared service payment in 2023. And now this resolution is needed to amend the 2024 budget and pass those funds on to the college. So good work from Lynn to kind of included this as a shared services, and the state went ahead and approved it.
Nightingale, move it.
Second, any questions? All in favor?
Heidi, yeah.
Just a quick question. Is it typical, the 2-year wait for reimbursement?
She's probably there, but I think, I do
Yeah,
think.
yes, it's a very dragged out process, and it's taken us a while to even get in our claims, but there were a lot of questions back and forth from the state before they'll approve anything.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Those are the 4 ways and means resolutions. Oh, we need to vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Treasurer, do you have anything to add to your report or to update us on?
Yes, I wanted to update you on an investment policy. We
Okay.
met with your group the other night, at Government Ops.
Yeah.
Sit down here. We have an investment policy that we're audited on every year. And they ask us, I'm gonna pass this around and show you some numbers, that for how many deposits and how much they're gonna be for each of the banks and institutions that we invest our money in here locally, all our tax dollars. And I'm passing you around here, these are the limits that we've established for this year. We have to stay within those boundaries, otherwise the audit comes back and says, hey, you can't go over those boundaries. It doesn't mean that's how much we have in each of the institutions. It just means that's the limit that we can go up to for them. You'll notice on there that there's 4 or 5 local banks on there. What we're trying to do is a balance between making our local banks happy and giving them some deposits because they work with us a lot with all of our people and help us to grow as a community. We feel strongly about helping them. And then the other institutions that we've put a lot of money in recently is a New York class, which is paying about 5.5% right now as we speak. Back a few months ago, we made this change because we were in a tiered CD program where we were making 2% on our monies. And we switched over and we're now making 5.5%. So over an annual amount of time, depending upon the interest rates of the month and how often the deposits go in and out, that can mean as much as between $200,000 and $500,000 additionally to us. And so it's a huge boon for us if things keep going the way they are right now.
And I think you made it clear at the government ops meeting. I'm like, well, whose decision is this? And you go, yours, the legislature. So these are the numbers that we're passing if this resolution
So at the end of
passes.
the year, we get audited every year and
Yeah.
they look at these numbers and make sure we stayed within those confines.
Yeah.
But that you guarantee that these are the numbers that we're gonna work with and pass that.
So you bring it forward and we approve it.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct. And anytime you want to see individuals, any of those individual deposits, I'm happy to show them to you, bring them to you.
Is the New York class helping to offset the increase in sales tax dollars?
Indirectly, yes, because any monies that we make additionally, we're gonna end up using there. But right now, we're down per se. So to your point, yes, it's indirectly, I guess you'd say, but not directly. any amount, extra amounts of money, obviously, that we make can only help out here. And year end, when we go to look at things like potential tax increases or potential budget shortfalls or additional people added or costs that we're not anticipating right now. So the more we can make for you, the better off we'll be at the end of the year to negate those things.
And they would run into the general fund, any
Yeah.
excess.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. And most of our monies, just so you know, they're gone by December, January, we're at our lowest point. And then the taxes come in like they have just recently, and then now we're flooding in again. And the monies that we're flooding in, we're rolling into this account as we speak and garnering this extra interest.
So the first 2 months of the year, you're kind of low on cash.
Correct.
Yeah, but you pay your bills.
It's after Christmas, around.
Yes, right.
And then you gotta reload here again
Yeah.
for the year. So yes, that's exactly right.
New York, it's a quick side.
Sure.
question. Does New York class have any minimum holding times? Or can you?
No.
Money freely from?
No, actually, that's one of the main reasons that we decided to go with them. One was the interest rate, of course. They're just for municipalities.
Right.
And there's no limit on how often you can take the money in, and there's no charge to take it in and out. So we could literally wire a couple a week if we wanted to. We're not doing that.
A place to park some money for short term
Right.
or long
Exactly.
term. but, yeah.
Yeah. And that short term doesn't sound like much when you think about maybe your own personal budget, but when you're talking about millions of dollars, it adds up pretty quick. Yeah. And they've been excellent to work with. And that in the past, going back to our former program, we also did huge CD. Where you'd have them out at 6 months, year, 2 years, and so on. But the rates have been so lousy over the last 5 years that it wasn't worth it. And the other part of that was you had to tie them up.
Mhm.
And we didn't want to do that. So that's what's so nice about the class.
You can't beat it.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Any other question? No.
Hello, Grace.
Hello.
Anything you want to add to your report?
I really don't have anything additional here. I just wanted to just kind of bullet the fact that I sent out the sales tax update this past week, and just, you know, so that you all made sure that you looked at it. We are still down about 11%. And I know I talked with you if projecting out, if we end up being, I kind of projected out if we come in at 10% lower every month, we could run about 1.6 million under our budget. So
I had emailed Grace and asked it. It's so early. You said
it's
that.
very early,
But-
and we'll monitor it obviously
Yeah.
every month
Yeah.
to see, but you know,
We'll hope the
It's not-
eclipse.
If that
Sure,
happens,
it's
this would be the first time we hadn't exceeded our sales tax in our budget. Is that
correct.
in a number
Well,
of
Lynn and I
years?
are actually we're currently looking at even 23 at this point, because that year-end accrual, which is
Yeah.
when they do the final year adjustments,
Mhm.
that may have actually pulled us under budget
Oh,
for
last year.
23. So we're looking at that. We don't have everything finalized yet, but
And Jonathan asked about the fund balance. And you'll know 23 fund balance when you get all this done, is that?
yeah,
how it
we wouldn't,
works?
yeah, we won't have that until we actually pretty much close the books. I mean, we still have some entries that we have to post, accruals that we have to get in there that will affect, you know, expenses and revenues. So until we have that, we don't know how much will be going to or being taken from the fund balance. So we won't have a balance until we have some finalized numbers.
And it was around 23, 26. I mean,
Yeah,
But-
somewhere in there.
but
Yes,
you won't
yes.
know.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. And sorry to put you on the spot,
That's
but
okay.
our fund balance based on our rent policy, we're in that.
Yes, we're in the range. If you remember, even Drescher
Mm-hmm.
Malecki, when they did their presentation, they said we're still falling within.
A healthy fund balance range.
Correct.
Okay, and that's kind of what you'll report out.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, you know, we're just, again, it's our busy time. I mean, it will be for the next several months. Our main focus will be on year end. I did just pretty much finalize the Cayuga tobacco asset audit.
Yep.
And we'll be meeting on that. So, I mean, other than that, I don't really have anything else.
And that audit is a mandatory annual.
Yes. Yeah, and it's an outside auditor. Drescher does that. Drescher Malecki, our independent auditors, they do that audit as well.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jennifer?
Hello. So I just wanted to fill you in a little bit on what's going on with the state as far as surplus funds. So I have put together a legislative resolution that will go to the full ledge this month to oppose the Senate bill, S 8512, I believe is what it
I was
is.
gonna say that, no.
Well, there's
All right.
there's several bills floating out there. So that one specifically, I oppose, one for the way that they're handling the surplus. Essentially, it would be larger losses to the county, which then all responsible taxpayers would end up having to make up. So basically, they're proposing that there be appraisals on all foreclosed properties, even if they're sold at a public sale. And so if the appraised values, they're not likely going to be taking into account, the fact that it's a foreclosure, that it's a quit claim deed, that people aren't going to be able to get title insurance on the property. So I mean, all those factors play in when people are bidding at auction, that the prices come in lower than what the appraisals would likely be. So what they're proposing in that legislation is that people be compensated based on that appraised amount, less, the delinquent taxes and other fees that we pay out. But like I said, in that scenario, we are likely to take losses that we would have to pass on. There's other things within that legislation that I oppose as well. They had in there that we wouldn't be able to foreclose on people that if they had an aged exemption, a veteran exemption, or there was one other exemption that we wouldn't be able to foreclose on. Disability, thank you. Which while, that's a nice ideal, it's putting one class of people, giving them preferential treatment over all other taxpayers, which I'm opposed to. And then also it had in there that delinquent taxes could be paid in chronological order so that people could pay the oldest taxes first, which then puts people perpetually into a delinquent cycle. And we have larger delinquents on our books, which then, ends up impacting all the other taxpayers as well. So there were a number of things within that legislation that.
Appraisal in 60 days, which would have been in crazy time frame, you said.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This year we don't have a lot of properties, but in other years where we've had like 40 properties, 50 properties, that's a very tight timeline. So I just don't think that it's a manageable thing for our county at least. So there is, like I said, I did put together a resolution to oppose that. There is new Senate legislation out that is kind of looking at the overall executive budget. So in looking at the executive budget's proposal for surplus funds, it basically is building on that, which that's a lot more tolerable than this other Senate bill. Essentially, the big change is from the governor's proposal is that it would take the sale price from public auctions as being the price to look at for surplus, which is great. It would look at appraisals if the county were to keep the property or if we were to give it to another municipality. Or if we sold something in a private sale, then we would need to do the appraisal, which that's just, a few properties here or there that we do over the years. So I think that that's manageable. There are some other provisions in that, but they took out, I would say, the most egregious provisions from the other Senate bill. So it's back to being reverse chronological order for delinquent taxes, which is how we do it now. They removed where we wouldn't be able to enforce taxes on seniors, disabled, or veterans. But there are still a lot of other protections that would add workload to the treasurer's office. So not necessarily to my office, but I did go through that and send out a summary for the treasurer's office and Shireen and Steve to take a look at what impact that might have on them. So keep monitoring it and try to keep you guys up to date what's going on, and hopefully whatever they pass won't be too painful for us.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is there a cap on how many years there can run up a chronological order of back taxes?
So right now, for residential and agricultural properties, it's a 3-year redemption period.
Okay.
For commercial and vacant properties, it's a 2-year redemption period.
Okay.
So if they were allowed to do pay in chronological order, they would just continue to stay like in a foreclosure status every year.
Yeah, and
that's problematic.
exactly, that's why
Right.
I was curious.
Right, so they have to pay the most current year
Yes,
first
yeah.
and all the back years
Yeah.
as well. We see a lot of repeat offenders, but at least they're out for a couple of years before they're back in. So,
Okay,
you know, it catches things up.
but they could run up 10 years of back taxes?
We do have some
Like, what's
properties.
the limit with that on that end?
So really, most of the properties you're gonna see, it's gonna be 3 years is gonna be your longest time.
The longest time, okay.
However, we do have some properties that are longer. So if there's environmental concerns, particularly petroleum, we have not wanted to foreclose on those because if the county's in the chain of title, then
We own it.
we're responsible for cleanup.
Clean up
And that can
stuff.
be very expensive.
So there's certain exceptions?
There's certain
Okay.
exceptions.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank
But
you.
for the most part, 3 years.
3 years, okay.
Yes. Yeah. And also, I did also have to government ops, the resolution to
Revise your own policy.
to revise our tax foreclosure
Mhm.
disposition policy as well. So. now, if anyone has any questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What was my?
Any,
I did ask, I appreciate, I think when you reported to us a month or so ago, we had 47 or something like
we had that
that.
in January,
And now we have 35.
correct?
So there's a little movement.
There is some movement. We have filled some positions. We probably would have filled a few more, but because some positions were taken by internal people already here, that opened up some other
Oh, I see.
positions.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
kind of, will fluctuate a little bit that way too.
Mhm.
Currently, the majority of our openings still reside with the sheriff as far as the jail goes. And with mental health because of the staff social worker. So that we're still recruiting for. Other than that, we pretty much have a couple of positions in each department that we're trying to fill. So
All right, thank you.
that's all I have, other than we're excited to have a new person join our staff, and she started yesterday and she came back today, so that's a good sign.
Hey, great.
All right, thank you.
Diane.
HR department?
Yes.
Hi.
Last year, or last month, you got the, great job.
Yeah. Well, I do have, that's the only thing I was really gonna highlight on here was I've been working with another long-term vendor to get an updated pricing agreement. ADP, our payroll provider. So we've been using them for over 14 years. There's no actual agreement in place, which gives us a look at what we're gonna spend this year, what we're looking at for an increase next year or even the following year. So they've offered a one-time credit of $1,000 just because,
Please don't.
probably
replace
because
us.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm very persistent.
Uh-huh.
And then they're willing to decrease our annual cost by $2,000. And then I proposed them with no increase, because they would normally increase in August, so I proposed no increase until the following year, so they've agreed to that.
All
And
in
then-
lieu of an RFP? I mean, is that in lieu
No.
of or just? you're
No,
neg-
it's
you're
just,
negotiating?
this is who we
Yeah.
use, and I don't agree with our current increases that I've been seeing.
Mhm.
They're usually around 7% or higher, and it's whatever they want to increase us. There's no rhyme or reason. So I've just been pushing for updated agreements and or if I find better pricing out in the cooperatives, challenging them to come down with our pricing. So that's where these come from. So they're looking at 2% increases for 2026 and 2027, and we normally see a 7% increase. So it's an overall 3-year savings if we decide to opt into them. So there'll
That's
be
great.
resolutions coming for those types of things. But that's really the only thing I was gonna highlight and see if anybody had any questions.
I see a question.
Sure.
It's nothing to do with it.
Okay.
Maybe I'm planting a seed. Sure, I'm actually trying purposely.
Okay, you're.
Prescription drug plan. For
Yeah.
Fayette County and the jail. The jail supplies drugs for the inmates.
Mhm.
Has that been reviewed recently? I know we're on a contract with Erie County. Compared rates or has to be something.
It hasn't come across for me to review and try to get updated rates or anything like that. I have been meeting with the different department heads to go over what their upcoming contracts are and what we could potentially do or how we should look into what the current costs are. That one hasn't come across. I don't know when that was updated,
Yeah, I
but
don't, for sure, my roof is.
Yeah.
Big part of his jail budget, so
yeah,
I just throw it out there and
That's
say,
great.
he goes,
Yeah.
she goes, yeah, because I said, you might ask Amanda, he goes, no, ask Amanda, and he goes,
Yeah.
but we need, whatever we do, it has to be, you know, we can't have people missing their meds, so it has to be something that's going to be,
Seamless.
you know,
right, like if they were to do a whole new.
reliable, I
Mhm.
guess is the word I want. to use.
Right,
So, you know, like mail order stuff's not gonna work, obviously, it has to be somebody local, or if they're using, like I said, back up.
right,
So it's just something food for thought, like I said, just plan on see, maybe it's something to look at, maybe they're getting the
Yeah.
best bang for their buck.
Right.
They are now, maybe we're not, but I think there might. be a
compared to
contract.
us doing our own RFP,
Yeah,
piggybacking on Erie County should be, I haven't looked at it, so I can't confirm that, but should be better pricing for us because we're smaller,
Larger,
yeah,
yeah.
and they're larger, so that usually works out in our favor.
that's what I was. kinda
Yeah, like
guessing.
buying vehicles and stuff, I try to look for Onondaga bid and things like bigger ones, Albany, things like that. So it's definitely something that I can look into.
Yeah,
I would
just-
just need the details on it and see what I can find.
I'll see if we can find out.
Yeah.
Like I said, it may be, maybe nothing we can do that we're not better already, but probably it's a big enough.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's all I have.
Okay, Mark, do you have a question?
I do. Under the shared services program, is that medication something that we could look at?
Getting on to
Maybe it's one of the other counties.
like having, if Erie County, if that's who we're using, added us to their RFP. They're changing some things, so I'd want to talk to Lynn about it because they could, I know the state wants to see, well, if you went out to RFP, what would your cost be so that they can see that we definitely get a better rate by going in with, say, Onondaga County or Erie County. So it might be something where we would have to put a bid out there and we wouldn't award, but to get like what our offers would be, and then having them add us onto theirs to show that difference, and then, so potentially, yes. But I know the state, I think, is going to be changing some of their shared services requirements and stuff, and I think they wanna see a clear indication of what you would get yourselves versus
Want to see the difference.
why, yes, yes. Is it truly a savings, or would you have been offered the same price? So, but yes, possibly.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Heidi, you want to go through the HHS resolutions?
Yes. So HHS 1, which was amended in committee, the amendment was to abolish the Director of Administrative Services. This authorizes the county legislature to create a public health director to fill a fiscal manager position in the health department. So it would be a change by abolishing the Director of Administrative Services to a fiscal manager position.
It's more in line with the duties. It's also in line with what we've been doing in other departments as we get ready and we move toward that finance department.
All in favor? Maybe
You
first and
look
a
for a
second.
second.
Yeah, are you gonna group any together or?
I will, I'm
Okay.
picking out this one.
All right,
I'll make a motion for this one.
all right, I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Great.
And HH2 is authorizing the public health director to fill a public health assistant position in the health department due to a resignation. So it's a basic fill.
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. I would like to bundle HH3, HH5, HH7, and HH8. These are all standard contract renewals or entering into contracts. HH3 is a 5-year contract with New York State to participate in the lead rental property registry. We've heard lots about that. We always get good updates from Department Head Kathleen regarding that. HH5 is entering into contract with Community Health Network for transitional housing. We've been doing that traditionally as well. HH7 is entering into contract to sign various subcontractors with the Office of Aging. It's very typical for them on an annual basis. And HH8 is also with the Office of Aging to sign an agreement with VNA and Home Care for meal service.
Yep. Okay, can I get a motion for 3, 5, 7, and 8? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Then back up to HH4, authorizing the public health director to purchase a vehicle for the health department. This vehicle was in the 2024 budget.
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor?
And HH6 also regarding vehicles, but there was an amendment at committee. We struck one of the resolves which had language around delivering the vehicles to the county clerk, et cetera, but we have assessees advised by the attorney that we didn't need that language. This is also part of the 2024 budget where they've requested to purchase 3 vehicles for the Department of Social Services.
Move it.
I'll make a motion.
Second. All right, all in favor?
HH9 also amended it at committee, authorizes the creation and filling of 2 full-time supervising staff social workers at the mental health center. The amendment was to get rid of the language for the fill behinds. What this really is doing is updating, getting rid of title of behavioral, let me look it up.
Yeah, what was it? It was a wacky title, right?
Supervisor of Family Behavioral Health Services position. And this would be abolishing the position to better reflect the supervisory and staff and create consistency at mental health. And creating 2 supervising staff social worker positions.
Right.
There exists money in the mental health budget.
I remember the conversation, abolish the supervisor of family behavioral health and then defund the senior
Defund.
social worker.
Yes.
Get rid of the fill behind language. Yep. Okay, can I get a motion for that? Second. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
And HH10 was added after committee. This is a resolution authorizing a transfer from general fund to the mental health department to cover psychiatric care. It is a request for $600,000. As we've been explained to many times, this is an expense that can't be predicted. We tend to lowball it at budget time. But turns out we have already well overspent that care, that psychiatric care, which is inpatient for people who are waiting, restorative, waiting for competency. And we are in a position where we can't say no. This is our responsibility according to the state.
And we have no way of forecasting this at all.
Do not.
It's just no way to know.
No.
You're killing me over there.
Can I hear the price tag again if somebody doesn't mind?
$600,000.
It's my understanding after the Health and Human Services meeting, Lynn reached out to you, Lauren, and said that we have a bill right now that we can't pay. There are people still in there. We're not going to be able to pay the other bills. And she asked you to make a prediction of what you thought would get us through till the
Yeah,
end
we
of the
talked,
year.
me and Lynn talked about the amount.
Yeah.
On the resolution. Yeah, I mean, we may need more eventually before the year's over. But just for now to be able to move forward for a few months.
Yeah.
Because
And
there's no way of knowing when they come out of inpatient either. Like there's projected dates, but a lot of times they could be released sooner. So it's hard to know if they're gonna make it to their dates or not.
And these are people that are being worked on to see if they have capacity to stand trial, not to even get treatment.
True. I mean, they
Yes.
will get medications,
Uh-huh.
but it's not formal treatment.
Wait, this 600, does that encompass what you just discussed? Getting us down the road a little bit as
Yes.
well?
Yes.
So that's not just back money, that's
Correct.
money to get us a little ways down the road. We don't know how far down the road. Maybe it gets us to the end of the year, maybe it doesn't, maybe it gets us to August.
I would say it probably won't get us to the end of the year, just
I-
knowing we have another person going like this week
See,
to go in.
and the hard part is, we've already are projected to use 7.6 million of our fund balance for this operating budget. Now we'll add another 600,000 onto that. And that's why watching sales tax and how it performs is going to be really important. Otherwise, we're going to be in a pretty big deficit. But yes, Mark?
Lauren, how many people are we currently taking care of?
So with the person going this week, it will be 4 total people.
We're gonna spend approximately $500,000 on 4 people.
So it's about $1,300 a day.
That's ridiculous.
And
That is-
these
Pardon my-
are court ordered?
That's ridiculous.
So the 7:30 evaluations come through the court, our psychiatrists meet with them, do the competency examinations. I would say all of them have been agreed upon by both psychiatrists that they would be they wouldn't be competent to stand trial. So they will then wait for a bed at OMH at a state hospital. They will go there for restoration for any undetermined amount of time that it takes to restore somebody.
And I
And then they'll
remember,
come back to jail and then they will stand trial if they can. If not, there's another course of treatment that happens.
you had brought your own psychiatrist from this mental health center as the evaluators of do they really need to be sent by the court, just to make sure that you're not sending people inappropriately.
Correct. And these people are very ill. I think what's happening is a lot more, ill people are making their way into the jail and then needing to go into state hospitals. More so now than ever before. We've also gotten more requests for 7:30 evaluations, but that doesn't mean that all those people are found incompetent. There's been a lot of them that have been found competent. It's just these 4 that we have right now they need a hospital. They don't need to be in jail.
And they are going to be there until they're determined competent to stand trial or not
Or not.
competent at all.
Yeah.
And we're footing the bill until that point in time.
Yeah, that's one, even if we didn't have a mental health clinic, though, that would be a mandated cost of the county.
I mean, we're lucky that our doctors can do the evaluation because that would be an expensive cost on top of
To actually contract for
actually
that.
do the evaluations, yeah.
Question.
Yep.
How extensive is the evaluation? Because, my concern before was, is this an attempt to avoid jail? I'm sure people try it, but how extent is the?
From my experience, knowing the clients or the individuals that have made it to the hospitals, that they're not trying to avoid jail, that they are actually very sick and they need inpatient treatment.
Okay.
And our doctors, they through some of that too. I mean, our nurse practitioners are out there at the jail too, doing evaluations, which are more formal evaluations, than the competency exam. They're different. So I would say they're pretty careful about that. Yeah.
Great, thanks, Heidi.
I think we need to vote on that last
Okay.
one.
Oh, all in favor of
I forgot we voted on.
600,000 from the fund balance to?
Take motions on
I didn't get a motion in a second.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I'll second it. I mean. Yeah, it's fine. I mean,
Right.
we can do about it,
Right.
right?
No one's thrilled about it,
I
but
may not
all in
like it,
favor?
but I,
Aye. Thank you.
What if we don't pay it?
Thank you, Heidi. Government ops?
It's a good question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mike said something, I don't know.
Oh, yes.
I said, what if we don't pay it? What are they gonna do?
I don't know. What if we didn't pay it? They would take it from us or they.
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
What are they gonna come repossess the car?
We'll find out in the fall.
Probably sure this office.
They can have my chair. I'll give it up. How's that?
Then what if we didn't pay the bill?
Probably take it off of other settlements,
Right.
just like they've done different things for DSS, right? If you don't pay it, they'll probably at some point, they'll get it.
Or
Just
perhaps
reduce the
Mark's the
future
first
settlement.
person to ask that question. So maybe-
Doesn't have my chair.
Honest question.
Rebel. All right. Linda, yours, government ops?
Oh, yeah, government ops. So, GO1, obviously the treasurer was here and he explained it and went through committee. It is to, update the investment policy. Can I get a motion?
I'll make motion. I'll second. All in favor?
I,
The GO2 is amending the, Cayuga County sale,
Property?
yeah, real estate property for foreclosure. Can I get a motion to,
Yep.
for that one as well?
I'll move it.
no second.
Jenny went through that very well at the meeting, so, yeah.
Okay.
All in
GO
favor? Aye.
Aye. Okay, GO3 went through committee as well, authorizing the fulfill one full-time record keeper index full-time index record recording. I need context, I'm telling you right now.
Recording clerk,
Recording
yeah.
clerk, okay?
You wanna try them out?
Yeah, let me see those things. I'm getting to the point, I'm like,
You gotta look at the bottom though, because there's like
Okay,
those,
alright.
those transition
oh,
lenses.
wow, this is really good.
Yeah, it's called C.
All right, can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor? Yes, am I supposed to say that or you supposed to say?
You can, but you'll be my guest.
I'll take your thunder, all in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Okay. Stephanie.
Okay, so planning and public works, highway, PPW1, authorizing the highway superintendent to hire summer help employees in the highway department. And this is also focusing on to make sure we involve schools, all towns, it's for everyone to offer that summer employment.
I can move it.
Oh, okay.
Second.
Yep. All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, I'll bundle a couple of them.
Okay.
but, second, PBW2 is authorizing the chair of the legislature to award material bids.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And PPW3, authorizing the highway superintendent to enter into agreements with towns to mow county roads.
I'll move that too.
You'll second?
Uh,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
On to parks, PPW4, authorizing the Cayuga County Parks and Trails Department to enter into an agreement with the Cayuga County Soil and Water Conservation District for services.
I'll move that.
Yeah, second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, aye.
Oh, aye, sorry.
Sorry.
All right, on to PPW5. This one I definitely wanted to make sure to separate is the authorization to replace 2 ovens at the Emerson Park Pavilion and transfer funds from the contingency account. I'm separating this because it requires a 2/3 vote due to the transfer.
That will be at the
And this is-
ledge meeting.
Oh, okay,
It
so we
will
don't have
be-
to do that here. Okay,
It'll be at the legislative meeting.
Okay.
Taking it from contingency.
yep,
I'll move that.
I'll make a second for discussion.
Okay.
discussion.
It's, I guess my takeaway from listening, and just correct me if I'm wrong, is this money was actually basically supposed to be set aside, never was. So they were
Yes.
taking in the funds for people
Yeah.
coming to the park, and stuff was supposed to be set aside to take care of
Portion of
repairs.
the stuff that
Right,
that
but it's
Everson
never
Park was-
actually transferred, so this isn't like we're taking money from the fund, this is money that was supposed to be theirs from the start.
It's always been there.
It's always
just was
been there,
not
it's just
itemized
never
into another
itemized as
pot.
transfer.
Yeah, it was a reserve, I think.
I'd
Go
like
ahead,
to say
Lynn.
something just to clarify.
Yeah,
It wasn't really a mistake. The resolution was not authorizing the finance department to make that transfer anymore. So.
There used to be a resolution.
Several years
authorizing the transfer.
ago, yes.
Oh.
So there is not permission for it to happen. That doesn't mean you can't do what you're doing now. It just means that it does not automatically happen that any funds go directly into that reserve anymore.
Did Doug think that it was? Do you think? I mean, he thought.
Yes, he did think that, and I think that the mistake was that at a point it had gotten written into the contract, but it was not written into the resolution.
Hi, Doug. I didn't say anything bad.
No, it was,
No.
yeah, like Lynn was saying, it was left out of this current
Yeah.
contract,
Okay,
just as an omission, and it is in the new one that we're working on in the future too.
okay, so it wasn't happening, but it will be again.
Correct.
Okay,
But you'll have to put that into a resolution, and I guess the attorney will have to determine, I don't know if it can be in how many years that it's good for to put into a resolution to move a reserve fund. I guess that's something to discuss when we end up passing a resolution for that.
okay, all right, thank you.
so in short, these funds that we're assigning basically are from fees, and they're just getting a portion back.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
and forget all the other
Yeah.
convolutions, it's just.
okay,
Yes, okay. All right, I got it.
all right, so that's PW 5. And we had a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye. And thank you, Lynn, for the clarification as well.
Okay, so on to planning, and I can bundle PPW 6 and PPW 7 because they're dealing with water. So PPW 6, authorizing the signing of a contract with Nicola Colas
Mhm.
to update and utilize the Owasco Lake Watershed 9-element plan for phosphorus reductions, watershed soil and water assessment tool. And it's a SWOT model. It's a SWOT analysis testing on the lake. And then PPW 7, authorizing the chair of the legislature to execute an agreement between the Finger Lakes Institute and Cayuga County for implementation of the fiscal year 2024 Owasco Watershed Monitoring.
Great,
Thank you, I'll move it
all right, second,
as a bundle.
I'll second 6 and 7, all in favor?
Aye.
All right,
And then PPW 8, authorizing the chair of the legislature to execute certain permissions for the USDA to place European cherry fruit fly and box tree mock traps in select locations on Cayuga County owned lands in 2024.
I'll move that.
What are they?
I know, I asked the
You
same,
asked-
I did, I asked the same
Program.
question.
What are we doing?
It's, we are placing European cherry fruit fly and box tree moth traps in certain locations in Cayuga County because they've been identified as being a detriment to
Cherry tree.
cherry
Yeah.
trees and to the environment.
So they want to monitor if they're
Yeah.
around.
Yep, yep, just like. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently there's an abundance of them, so we
Cherry
need to
trees.
monitor and take care of the situation.
Box tree moth.
Yeah,
Okay,
Is it a box?
so we need a motion for that.
I'll move PW 8, all in favor?
Aye.
PPW 9, this is a resolution authorizing to fill the position of senior planner within the Department of Planning and Economic Development through the promotion of incumbent planner and filling behind with an entry-level planner appointment. Yes. Yep.
I'll move that,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
And PPW 10, which was added on 3/12 of 24, that is authorizing professional services contract award for electronic waste recycling services under the Cayuga County Solid Waste Management Program. But this is a $43,000 price tag attached to it that is budgeted through Sun King, which is the provider.
I'll move that.
Cayuga, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, great.
And- Yep, and then the legislature. Do I do that under ledge one, or is that's under planning and public works or no?
No, this is for information. You know, I don't think you have to go over the ledge resolution.
No,
Rich?
I don't know.
No.
No, okay.
Yep.
And I'm finished.
Okay,
Thank you.
judicial and public safety.
Madam Chair, Judicial and Public Safety has 6 resolutions. We're gonna bundle JP1, JP3, JP4, JP5, and no. All right, so JP1 is authorizing the Cayuga Legislature to adopt the solar splits coordination plan from the Emergency Management Office. JP3 is authorizing the chairperson to sign with Thompson Reuters for ProFlex services for the probation department. GP4 is for the Cayuga County Sheriff's Office to extend an agreement with Training Services Group to provide food service for the folks at the jail. JP5 is to authorize the chair of the Cayuga County Sheriff to enter into a contract with Lexa Paul to provide law enforcement personal web-based training services via Police One and Correction One portals. Mostly administration. And might as well go to JP6 as well, because that's administrative. Authorizing execution of advertising agreements with FLX, local media, and the promotion of the Stop DWI program.
Okay,
Move the bundle of JP1, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
I'll second.
okay. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Madam Chair, JP2 is an amended, it's a title change. It is the authorization to fill one account clerk typist title in the Cayuga County Probation Department. And the amendment was to we remove the automatic backfill language. It's gone. And
And was it through, did it have the old create and fill by
yeah,
mistake?
It had the old create and fill by mistake and dissolved the title.
Okay, so it was never a create and fill, it was just a filling of a
It's just the
budgeted
filling of a
vacancy.
budgeted
Okay.
vacancy, correct.
Okay,
It's a fill only now.
yep. Can I get a motion for JP2?
Cayuga, move.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you. Okay, we don't have to go through the ledge, they're just for our information only. Pardon me?
He bundled it.
Bundle that, I didn't have.
Yeah, he bundled it last minute.
Yes. Okay, if nothing else, any motion to adjourn? Motion? Okay, thanks.
The ledge meeting begins at 5:30. That was the advertised time. So we have some time between.
And, there was some kind of. You know.
I may ask any, I may ask any questions tonight.
One movie that's.
Oh, I can answer, ask some questions.
Okay, every morning, because.
You're not gonna have any wisdom to come along.
Like I say,
So you're figuring this
done
out,
deals, you know.
and you realize
We're here to
time frame is going.
put the whole water on it, about the size of it.
I feel like we talked
So the
about this
tattoos
before.
are disappearing, but you don't notice it there.
You
Yeah.
only want one out of choice.
What's your-
Figure
I got a whole bottle of real holy water,
it.
right out of the Jordan, right out of the Jordan River.
I did.
Here in McPetca.
Who's made?
I tried them all. The one that I
tried 'em all.
was, you know, I sat and I went down and.
How's the thing?
I'm not authorizing.
I
more, so
never-
You guys are gonna have to.
never-
And then there's one where the seat goes back.
The tables
Really?
And then
are
it
broken
kind of
here, actually.
brings it back.
I said there'd be a lot of.
So maybe we could just buy one, purchasing a.
Just so everyone's aware, Chambers is unmuted and we are live.
What?
Okay, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. I think everyone's here. Roll call, please.
Jonathan Anna,
Present.
Ben Vitale is excused. Tom Winslow,
Present.
Bob Shay,
Present.
Hans Petcher,
Here.
Mark Strong,
Here.
Heidi Nightingale,
Present.
Lane Daly. Here. Stephanie DeVito,
Yeah.
Brian Muldrow,
Here.
Andy McDevitt Coleman.
Present. Please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag, of the United States of America, and to the republic
For which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
and for a moment of silence.
Thank you.
I'd like to take this time to entertain a motion to go into executive session. Make a
Move it,
motion.
Mark.
Second, all right. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're gonna move to caucus.
For the employment of a particular
For the-
person.
No. For the executive session.
Okay. Please record
Stay
no.
here and you can have it and get it over with, so.
We got outvoted.
For the employment of a particular person is the reason, so. We'll return.
You're totally serious, right?
It was the oddest one. Guy's tattoos.
Really?
Disappeared.
Definitely
We
talked
did talk
about
about it,
this.
yeah. Kind of track the
His
same
is
thing you talked about.
Polaroids. We didn't talk about
Go to hell. Cleaning out my desk and right here.
Go with us.
Right, can I get,
I move that.
can I get a motion in a second that we left the room? Is that what we need first?
Yes, you need,
I move that we adjourn executive session.
I'll second it.
At 5:45? 6.
At 5:46,
Okay,
close enough.
and then can I get a motion to come back in?
I make a motion.
Yeah.
Second.
All in the detail.
So we had an executive session about Hans Petter.
All in favor?
How nice of a man you are. We were really excited. We wish you'd come join us. It's okay.
I didn't hear you, so.
Even better, even better. Okay, so we have a resolution in front of us tonight. The resolution is Ledge 1. I'm on. It's on the back side of your agenda. Appointing Frederick Westfall as the county attorney, whereas New York County Law 500 establishes the office of the county attorney. And whereas the previous county attorney, having resigned effective March 17th, 2024, prior to the end of the term, has caused a vacancy in the office of county attorney. Whereas the salary of county attorney was set in local law number 2 for the year 2023 at $128,410. Now therefore be it resolved that Frederick Westfall is hereby appointed county attorney effective 19th of March 2024 for a term ending December 31st, 2027. And that the appointment and resulting employment be made in accordance with civil service rules. And further resolved that while serving as county attorney, he shall be compensated as the rules set forth in local law number 2 for the year 2023. Can I get a motion? Thank you, Gail and Shay. Any discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? And that is carried. Thank you. Any other business to come before the board this evening? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to know how come we didn't wait till next Tuesday to do this? There was no necessity of it.
Well, we needed to get it, we already knew what was gonna happen. It was good to get somebody in place.
We had somebody in place.
Who did we have?
There was a succession plan.
That is questionable. The succession plan is in the event that it becomes, that the attorney's office becomes like unplanned vacancy and sickness and in death, not for a resignation. So this was something that, you know, we knew that was coming and we would like to get him in place. We already had Ways and Means, so I felt it important to have this meeting to get this going because we have a lot of work in front of us. So I wanted to.
But basically, I hate acting like we're making a decision when things have already been decided. And there's been too much of that going on. Thank you.
You're welcome. I do disagree with your statement. So I know that we reached out and I talked to many of you here, and if I didn't speak to you directly, other people did. And, you know, it's good to make sure that everyone's clued in. And I think we've been doing a very good job of that. I disagree. Any other business? Okay, motion to adjourn.
I'll move it.
Great.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're adjourned.